Alright, Shalom, Akim. Alright, I'm back at you with another lesson to the power and the spirit of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yoshai Ba'Hashem Harakakodash. Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and rise up to the house of David. Yeah, this is Ghost Rider. I was just checking out the clip or the trailer. Supposed to be releasing around this year, summer, around June. So I was impressed with the last one. I want to check this one out. This is going to be played by Keanu Reeves, and I'll see if he does it justice, like the last guy who played was it Luke Cage, who played Ghost Rider. So I'm just going to look at some of the Ghost Rider explained, just a little brief, and then we're going to hit some precepts through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yoshai. I wanted to check this out, man. The trailer looks interesting, but it says here, Ghost Rider explained, just a brief explanation here. The biography, a bicycle stunt driver turned spirit of vengeance. First scripture that comes to mind is Sirach chapters 28 and 39. Most High created spirit for vengeance, and he's an anti-hero, a spirit that is created for vengeance, man. And after a fatal deal with the demon, Lord Mephisto, Ghost Rider, defies his benefactor and rides his blazing motorcycle, dispensing vengeance to the souls of all those who would do the world harm. And that's a spirit created for vengeance, man. The anti-hero, Ghost Rider. So there's a story to it, and there's always a method to the madness when I do these so-called anti-hero videos, because they line up with certain precepts. I'm gonna hit certain precepts, and he's a spirit created for vengeance throughout the whole of the movie, 1 and 2. So he's an anti-hero, and his bike is endowed with power, extraterrestrial power, supernatural power, and it can ride on anything. It can ride on water. I wonder where they got that from. It can ride on water. You know, Peter walked on water. Yahushua walked on water, and this can walk on. It can ride on water. It can go up. It can go up buildings. It can defy gravity. It can do almost anything that it wants to. It even outrun, according to some of the comic books, it outrun the Thor's hammer. He threw his hammer at it, and Ghost Rider jumped on his bike, and he outrun the hammer. So he's supposed to be invincible. But it did get my imagination. Just the trailer of it caught my imagination, which a lot of movies is very hard for movies today, unless they got some kind of drama in them or some kind of extraterrestrial supernatural power in them. I won't be interested. I can't get into them, most of the movies today, but I'll be interested to see what this one's about. And you do have some interesting movies out there. Aquaman was alright. All relating back to spiritual power. Avengers 1, 2, and 3, most of them. But yeah, man, I wanted to just go in and read. Let me read a precept. First precept that comes to mind is Revelations chapters 11, and the whole of the chapter is good. Elder, one of the elders over there in Mississippi, Elder Kazak, was going in, breaking it down. So I'm going to hit the main bullet points, but let me start. Revelation 11 and 1, it says, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of God and the altar, and them that worship therein. Yeah. So this is which we know the temple today represents the elect, the children of Yahshua Allah on the whole, but ultimately the elect of his people. And I want to get to the point. because there's a lot of meat in here, but I want to really hit my point. Let me go straight to the point. Um, in 5, Revelation 11:5 says, and if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. And when brother was going through that, the elder was going through the chapter, first thing that come to mind is just my imagination. It's just my imagination. Ghost Rider, right, man? And also Elijah, you know. Precepts came to my mind, Revelations chapters 11, and this one we're reading right now, 2 Kings 1, when Elijah burned up a lot of the messengers that came and visited him. Well, he put a curse on them and then he burned them up. But we're going to look into some of them precepts. So this is what came to my mind, man, and those fearsome images came to my mind. And right, man, those fearsome images. So we should go back to it. Yeah, because the two witnesses, as the brother was breaking down, he says and if any man will, let's read up. He says, and I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy. Yeah, the two witnesses represent the northern tribes, northern and the southern tribe, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days in sackcloths. So yeah, I mean, his elder was going into that, breaking a lot of that down, and so the point I really wanted to focus on, because I really want to hit this point, and Abba Ratazar, we can get into this at some later date, Abba Ratazar, and go in on all the times and the dates and everything. But we know the two witnesses represent the northern tribes and the southern tribes, right up to this very day. And these are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before God of earth. Yeah. So these, and it says, if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Right. These have power, and he was going in. Let me go in right here. I want to look up certain words. First and foremost, check out this word here. Power, to devour. The word devour. How it's pronounced first and foremost.
Strong's G 2719. Catustheo.
Alright, man. So this is what will happen. If any man will try and hurt them, it says, I looked up the word devour. To consume by eating up, devour. Of birds, of a dragon, of a man, eating up the little book. To devour, squander, waste, substance, to devour, forcibly appropriate widow's property, to strip one of his goods. Oh, what comes to mind is the hurricanes over there right now, cyclones, hurricanes. I think one hit India, one's hitting over there in America right now as we speak. These tornadoes, cyclones, and they're stripping people of their homes, their property, their goods, almost everything, and leaving some of them, and even taking lives, a lot of lives. Yeah, by fire. Yeah, we're going to look at the one in the case with Elijah. To devour, to utterly consume, destroy, of the consumption of the strength of body, mind, by strong emotions. To consume by fire, to devour, i.e. to utterly consume. Alright, man, I want to go back and look at that, because as the elder was saying, Elder Gazak was saying, that is coming. That time is coming, man. Spiritual power. because right now they're merging humans into artificial intelligence, AI, and they want to, and with you got the modern day motor controls, motor control cars, people just walking up and down with their mobile phones. They have abilities. They can do almost everything. You got a mini computer at your hands, at the end of your fingertips. You have a mini computer. So they have power. On the left hand side, the Edomite them have power. But this is what the Most High going to do. He's going to show all those things ain't nothing. Because what is he going to do? Let me read it again. Chapters 11 and 5 says, if any man will hurt them, right? You think you're going to come with any of your technology? We might be surrounded, like you see a lot of those X-Men movies, when it comes to the surround the house, X-Men 1 and 2, when they surrounded the house with police cars, fire engines, and they tried to grab hold of the so-called mutants. And one of the mutants, which was able to let lasers come out his eyes, just took off his glasses and just lasered them away, man. You know, blowing up the police cars, police vans, fire engines, fire just coming out of their eyes. This is what is happening. It definitely catches my imagination, the whole of this chapter. If any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, in this case out of the two witnesses' mouths, and devoureth their enemies, and if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut up heaven. Again, those movies come to mind. The X-Men, Fantastic Four, which they go back to the scriptures anyway. You know, being able to shut up heaven, to move mountains, to lift up mountains. Oh, but the Avengers movie, to open up the heavens. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not. Oh, that happened also with Elijah did that. He actually did that, and that's in James chapters 5. You know, and yeah, there's cases where I think I heard, because I wouldn't have known. It was way before my time, but High Priest Ariah gave examples of he was able to do that. He spoke to elders and apostles have broke that down, that he was able to do that. He wasn't no ordinary man. So yeah, man. And these have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, so that he can go out and do the work, and have power to over waters to turn them to blood. Moses did that with the plagues, the 10 plagues to Pharaoh. Turn them to blood and smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. So that's gonna come round again. Yahushua did that while he was walking on the earth, and these men today, who the man Yehovah Hashem Yahushua gonna empower his 144,000 elect men, and Abaratazar, we in that number. When the saints go marching in, we want to be in that number, as the song goes, man. So this is examples we're looking at here. This is just to give it a visual, because those that know me know I like my visuals, to give you an idea, man. Fearsome Vengeance, and that is his title. He's a spirit, an angel or spirit created for vengeance, and that is what we're gonna be to the wicked once again. So yeah, man, we looked at the word devour. I want to check out the word. What is the word? How is it described in the Google? So we're gonna be doing that, right? When that time comes, if they try to get their hold on us again, they're gonna try, and this is what's gonna happen. Isaiah 59 and 19 says, when they come in like a flood. But what's gonna happen? They're gonna be devoured. Eat, pray, hungry or quickly. Eat food or pray hungrily or quickly. Eat up, swallow. There we go. consume, demolish, make short work of. That's what's going to happen, man. Those two witnesses, which represent the northern tribe and the southern tribe, going to make short work of the enemy. And it also comes to mind is Wisdom of Solomon chapters 5 and those preceding verses. We're standing up with great boldness even now as we speak. Make short work of, polish off, demolish, put away, tuck away, get outside of, shift, man. So that's what's gonna happen, man. You know, we're gonna have the power to devour the enemy, make short work of them, devour of beast or person, to eat up entirely, eat up ravenously, consume as food. That's what fire has the power to do. Food devouring. Yeah, the point is there. You got the gist of that. To swallow up figuratively, taking renownedly with. So there you got the point there, man. That's the kind of power. And let's bring out another example. I think I just wanted to hit that point and show those visuals to let the Akim know, as the elder was saying, that power is on its way. And we've got another example here. The messengers meet Elijah. Moab, right, so Ahazas, if I'm pronouncing that right, messengers meet Elijah. So let's read from 1. It says, Then Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. And Uzziah fell down through the lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria and was sick. And he sent messengers and said unto them, Go, inquire of Beelzebub, and go of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. Right. So he was sick. But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah the Tishite, Arise, go up to meet the messenger of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, Is it not because there is no God in Israel that ye go to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? Now therefore, thus saith the Lord, thou shalt not go down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shall surely die. And Elijah departed. So that's the message that Elijah gave him, and he just told him straight, and he departed. And when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, Why are you now turned back? Right? And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us. So this is what he was inquiring. And he said, Why you went back? Why you never carry on, man? Go and bring the message, but let the scriptures talk. And they said unto him, There came a man up to meet us, and said unto us, Go turn again unto the king that sent you, and say unto him, see, he's explaining it here, Thus saith the Lord, as it not because there is not a God in Israel, that thou sendeth to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron. Therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. As he explains there. Yeah, and he said unto them, What manner of man was he which came up to meet you and told you these words? And they answered him, and was an hairy man. This is what they're explaining now. This is how it describes Elijah. He was an hairy man and girt with a girdle of leather about his loins, and he said, It is Elijah the Tishite. So they knew when they gave their description, they knew it was Elijah. He knew it was Elijah. Then the king sent unto him a captain of 50. What is that, an intimidation tactic? A captain of 50 with his 50, and he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of the hill. And he spoke unto him, Thou man of God, thou king, have said, Come down. See, now he went back for reinforcements, and he says, Come down with the reinforcements, believing that 50 is going to be able to do the job, maybe to intimidate Elijah. And Elijah answered and said to the captains of 50, If I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee, thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50. Man, is that not a spirit? That is the spirit of the Lord upon Elijah, a spirit of vengeance, man, as we just looked at that visual. You know what I mean? That visual, I really like that visual. That's why I can't look at it. You don't want to fuck. If you saw that boy standing, and you wouldn't want to fuck with that. And it, you know, the men of the Lord even are more fearsome than that. When the spirit's on them, that is not someone you want to ramp with. The spirit created for vengeance right there. So the fire came down, and Elijah answered and said, If I be a man of the God, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and the 50. Right. And that's exactly what happened. It was highlighted there. Came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50. And again, and he sent again a captain of the third time. Actually, let me go up. I might have missed one. So it was then the king sent unto him a captain of 50 and his 50, and he went up to him, and behold, he sat on the top of the hill, and he spoke unto him, Thou man of God, the king hath said, Come down. I missed that one. And Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, If I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50. Again also he sent unto him another captain of 50 with his 50, and he answered and said, Captain of 50 with his 50. And he answered and said unto him, O man of God, thus saith the king, said, Come down quickly. And Elijah answered and said unto him, If I be a man of God, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And the God and fire of God came down from heaven and consumed him and his 50. Once again, and he sent again a captain of the third 50, right? And with his 50, and the third captains of 50, that would be 150, went up and came and fell on his knees before Elijah and besought him and said unto him, A man of God, I pray thee, let my life and the life of these 50 thy servants be precious in thy sight. Because he's already devoured 100 so far. So he's pleading. The messengers are pleading. He's saying, No, man, not this time. You did it to as well. 100 already get devoured, as we looked at the word devoured, taken out, eaten up by fire. And we know the scriptures are describes. It's scripture, and this ultimately, the Lord is described as a consuming fire. So he endowed Elijah, and there's a whole heap of other examples of fire coming down from heaven and devouring the enemies. And that's going to be, again, as we just looked at in Revelation 11, that is prophecy, and that will come true, as we know. We're convinced in the spirit, and we can sense it, man. 14, Behold, there came fire down from heaven and burned up the two captains and the former 50s with their 50s. Therefore let my life now be precious in thy sight. See what happened again? He burned them up too. Right, man. And the angel of the Lord said unto Elijah, Go down with him, be not afraid of him, and arise. And he arose and went down with him unto the king. And he said unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Forasmuch as thou hast sent messengers to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, So that was all first false worship. They wanted to worship false gods. And that's what Elijah was sent to do. To go and tell them, what are you doing worshipping false gods? Don't you know that we got a true God that we worship? So he had to burn up them messages, those idol worshippers. So the God of Ekron, is it not because there is no God? Oh, let me explain it. In Israel to inquire of his word, wherefore thou shalt not come down off that bed on which thou art gone up, but shall surely die. You see, because you're a false worshipper, an idol worshipper. And that's exactly as it goes on to say. So he died according to the word of the Lord which Elijah had spoken. And Joachim reigned in his stead in the 2nd year of Joachim, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, because he had no son. So there you have it. Now the rest of the acts of Assyria which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Israel? So I just wanted to just hit that precepts, those particular precepts. And the scriptures do describe, all I did was I just tapped in fire in the blue letter. The Most High is described as a consuming fire, and occurs 549 times in 106 verses in the KJV. So there you have it, man. And I wanted to read this, and I'm going to end it. This is going to be the last one. This is in Hebrews chapters 12 and 29 says, for our God is a consuming fire. Our God is a consuming fire. And what is he going to do? Once again, we're going to read it at the end of the videos. These are the two witnesses, the northern tribe, the prophets, northern and southern tribe, which is the 12 tribes, man. And it's going to be the elect men that are going to be endowed out of those 12 tribes. It's going to be the elect who are selected to be given spiritual power. This is what they want to do. And if any man will hurt them, any man want to try to hurt them against Jehovah Ba'ashim Yeshua's will, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. Spirits created for vengeance. There be spirits created for vengeance. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut up heaven. And there's the visual. You know, I like those visuals there, man. I like those visuals there. You know, it's not, fire. The Most High is described as a consuming fire. And he's going to endow his elect men with spiritual power. Fire. And he's going to consume the enemies, man. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouths and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. These have power to shut up heaven, right? Once again, spiritual power to be able to manipulate the elements, the weather, the elements. And he has a little bit of power right now with his harp machines, weather manipulation machines. But ain't gonna be nowhere near, as the elder brought out, ain't gonna be nowhere comparable with when the Most High endows his prophets, his elect men, his elect and selected men from the 12 tribes to be endowed with spiritual power. They're going to be able to do that on a higher level, on a spiritual level, not on no scientific low level, left hand side level. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecies. And and that was already done. There's examples of that happening already, and it wasn't. And the wicked, them, through their historic research, what they call the archaeologists that dig up ruins, they know that the Egyptians were drowned. Then that was the ultimate undermining for them, a slap in the face by using Moses to drown them through the River of Suez. They were drowned, and many of all the other miracles, the 12, the 10 plagues that were brought upon them, and they tried to make counterfeits of them, which they was able to do to a certain extent, because they do have power. Pharaoh's left hand side magicians, Jammies and Janbris, they was able to cultivate or manipulate a little bit of left hand side things, or just by on a small level, but there was nowhere near able to do what Moses was able to do. And that's just an example there, and there's many other examples. So these have power to shut heaven. Oh, and also Elijah did that. He shut up the heavens and he stopped it from raining. And also, was it Gideon? It might have been Gideon, or it might have been Joshua. He calls he actually got he stopped the sun. It might have been, I think it was Joshua. He actually stopped the sun in the midst of a battle, and he also made it rain down stones, hailstones, massive rock stones upon the enemy. So you know about that. You know, you've done the research. Your archaeologists have done the research. Also with Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, what you've done. Let me look at some of those examples of the fire. Look at some of these examples of fire. Right, yeah, this just came to me now. Genesis chapters 19 and 24 says, Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. There's the examples there, and there's many other examples we could go through. But the point is already made. When the Most High turns it up, which is prophesied in Revelations, it's prophesied, and he's going to do it. Whatsoever my word saith goes out of our mouth will not return to me without results. So I want to leave it there, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yoshai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Right? Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. And yes, the house of David is rising. And prophecy will be fulfilled. Whatsoever goeth out of the Most High's mouth, Isaiah 55 and 11, will not return to him without results. Shalom. So on to the next.